So if you saw my video a few weeks ago, you'll know that I picked myself up an MX5. I got it about a month ago. I travelled a whopping 20 steps to go get it to the other side of the road to my neighbour's house. Shout out to Big Dave who owned it at the time. I paid my monies and I drove it back across here, where it hasn't really moved since because it's currently declared as SORN. It is MOT'd though until August, so I'm planning on getting it taxed and insured and back on the road next month, which is June. But in the meantime, it's proved to be a nice little project, keeping me entertained during this virus lockdown period. So here's a little update video to show you guys what I've been up to. So it's important to have a goal, I think, when you get a new project car, a vision of how you want it to be. And for this thing, it's pretty straightforward. Just a reliable daily driver. You know, something that myself, my partner, can just go out and drive and enjoy. So the majority of work that I've been doing to it so far has just been routine maintenance. The car itself has done just under 27,000 miles. So for a 19-year-old car, it is super low mileage. And it's no doubt why the bodywork is in such good shape on it, because rust is a big deal on these things. And if classic Fords have taught me anything, it's if you see excessive rot, just walk away, because it's going to cost you a lot of time and it's going to cost you even more money to put it right. See it time and time again. But thankfully then, this is in really good shape for its age. I did, as a bit of rust prevention, power wash the underside of the car and then scraped off any flaky bits, which there wasn't many, and then painted it over with Hammerite underbody seal. So that should keep the rust at bay for now. Wheels wise, still on standard wheels, might change these at some point, I don't know, see how I feel. And then bodywork, few dints here and there, few scratches, but hey, it's a 19-year-old car at the end of the day, and for what it is, I don't think it's bad at all. Alright, so engine bay, and I've been spending quite a lot of time under here since I got the car. I have replaced the timing belt, the water pump, the thermostat, I've changed the spark plugs, I've changed the oil. It's a really nice car to work on in that respect, you know. Access for the most part is good, and so far I've not required a single special tool, so that's always a bonus. So I took care of all that service and maintenance stuff and then focused my attention on this intake here. Now, believe it or not, this thing is actually a result of hours and hours of trawling through internet forums, trying to figure out what the best bang for buck DIY intake was. And in the end, it simply boiled down to dyno figures. And not butt dyno figures, by the way, because they are the biggest con artists in the business, if you didn't already know. So actual dyno figures proves that these engines like, for whatever reason, a 21-inch inlet tract from the base of the filter here right through to the throttle body here. Now, I'm not sure why that is. I suspect it's something to do with air resonance, but it's proven that that will give you gains in both horsepower and torque. And we're not talking massive numbers here, by the way, you know, maybe 5 figures in each department. But I thought if I was going to have a stab at it, I wanted to do it right. So here is the fruits of my labour, and this inlet through its centre line from here to here is 21 inches, which is ideal, and it keeps the air filter on the cold side of the engine, not the hot side like it is in standard form. The air filter is just a K&N cone filter. It's slightly offset, so it fits nicely into this space here and allows me to plumb the air temperature sensor into the back of it right here. The air filter is connected directly to the stock MAF sensor, the wiring for which I had to pull back from the loom and extend and reroute around the back of the engine bay here. Just keeps things nice and tidy. Then we've got the really shiny aluminium U-bend. I'm not too keen on this. I might have to paint it at some point, but this connects everything to the throttle body here via a couple of silicone hoses. This one here is actually a reducer because the MAF sensor is 2 3/4 inch diameter, I think, and this pipework and the throttle body are 2.5 inch, so that reduces down just there. And then I've made a little bracket down here just to support this lot, so I'm not solely relying on the Jubilee clips for the support. So pretty tidy, really. I'm quite proud of it, actually. You'd probably think it was stock if you didn't know any better. It's not the cheapest, I'm not going to lie. If you want that, there's plenty of videos online showing you how to do it on the cheap. sub 50 quid if you try really hard. Considering this air filter cost me £60, I'm already above that figure, and I think all in it cost me about £110, £120, something like that. Oh, and speaking of these cheap setups, I see a lot of them just bung an air filter on this rocker cover breather over here. Now, if you're running the stock ECU, not recommended, as the engine can run lean because the ECU cannot compensate for that change. So in the interest of reliability, I had a barb welded under the intake pipe here. Shout out to Ian and Clive at Fusion Engineering in Sherburn and Elmet, thank you very much. And that allows me to run the pipe from the rocker cover to the inlet. And that's it, that's my cold air intake. So I removed the old intake, obviously, and that freed up a lot of space in the engine bay because that thing was massive. I made a couple of brackets and moved the radiator expansion bottle over to the exhaust side of the engine. It wasn't absolutely crucial, but I think it looks better over there anyway. Other things I had to move to get this intake in was the charcoal canister. Actually, I didn't move that, I removed it and then rerouted its breather lines so it's out of the way. And then there's this little fuel dampener thing here, which I moved backwards a bit to underneath the brake servo. And that's pretty much it for the engine bay. I'm happy with how things turned out. It looks tidy. Let's just hope it delivers the goods. So another thing I've spent a lot of time on since I've bought the car is the brakes. So while the low mileage of this car was great for the body and the chassis, it's not been so good for the brakes because the calipers were binding a bit, the brake discs were heavily corroded. So in the end, I have treated it to a whole new set of discs and pads, and I've fully stripped the calipers and rebuilt them with new seals and gaskets, things like that. So fingers crossed, the brakes won't give me any issues down the line. I also installed a whole new set of brake hoses for it and then flushed the entire system through with fresh DOT4 brake fluid. So hopefully brakes will be good to go. So there's not much else to report really, only that I changed the diff oil and I've checked the gearbox oil. I haven't changed it yet because I haven't got the correct oil for it. So that's pretty much it, pending a test drive, which I'm hoping to do in the next couple of weeks and report back. Let me know how you like these update videos, by the way. I don't think I'm going to be doing many tech tip videos on this car because there's already plenty of excellent content available here on YouTube in that department. In fact, speaking of which, shout out to the Car Passion channel and BEAVIS Motorsport. Between those two channels, I've learnt a hell of a lot about these little cars, so thank you. Cool, that's it from me. Don't forget, if you want to stay up to date with what's going on with this car or anything else, subscribe to the channel. And if you like this video, do me a favour and give it a thumbs up. Cool, take it easy, stay safe, wash your hands, all that stuff, and I'll see you for the next video.